my name's Danielle and this is my channel. And if you have been here before, thanks for returning. If you're a new viewer, thanks for stopping by. Today I have a bunch of things to talk to you about. They're all piled on the floor next to me, and sorry, the ornament's moving and it's just very distracting. Anyways, obviously if you've watched my videos before, you might notice I'm in a new location, and you're probably wondering where I've been because it's been about a year since I've last posted. So let's just get into it. Yeah, so last year was just, well, 2025 in general was just a hard year. There was so much going on in the background, and one of the big things was my partner and I were trying to move houses, but it was just a really bad timing between the when our mortgage was renewing and trying to move, and trying to decide where we wanted to move to, and just like the whole stress of trying to do any of that really sucked. I didn't really have a whole lot of like knitting and crochet mojo per se, so I did spend most of my time just sewing. Although I really got into quilting, which is cool. I love quilting. I currently have fabric cut up for 2 quilts. I just have to, they're identical quilts. They're going to be for friends of mine. I just have to sit down and sew them together. I just haven't felt like it, which is whatever. I'll come back to it when I feel like it. And yeah, so I was doing a lot of sewing, but not really a whole lot of anything to show you, and there wasn't a whole lot of knitting going on. It was a lot of start something, didn't like it, frogged it, didn't really sit and sew or crochet or knit much. And then over the summer, in August, my partner and I sold our house, and then for about 2.5 months we were living in a fifth wheel with our 2 dogs because we could not find a permanent house in time for when our house sold versus when we had to move out. And then the market was just not good. It was so slow, and just there's very few options on the market for us, and none of the options on the market worked for us for a variety of reasons. So all summer the only thing I did was garden with my mom because we were living on my parents' property. My mom has a big vegetable garden, so I helped her garden all summer, and then I just sewed all summer. I made quilts, and I will potentially insert photos here if editing me can find the photos and remembers to do that. I made 3 full finished quilts, like quilt top done, quilted it together, bound it. 3 of those were finished, and then I also made 2 or 3 other quilt tops over the summer and into the fall. And then yeah, so we moved and we've been living here for about a month, and today is the first day where I felt like, yeah, I want to sit down, I want to film. I have a lot to show. I have whips, I have finished objects, I have yarn that just came in the mail yesterday. So there's a lot to go through today. I'll be honest, I don't remember all the details about a lot of these projects. Some of them were finished very recently, some of them were just casually finished over the summer when I felt like knitting or crocheting. So yeah, let's get into it. I have a whole stack of bucket hats. I have this one, I have this one, I have this one, and I have this one. And that's 4 total. They are all made with Bernat Handicrafter cotton, somewhere between a 5 and a 6mm hook. I don't remember. They're all crochet, and the patterns vary slightly for them, but they're all pretty much a granny stitch bucket hat. There's lots of different tutorials on YouTube. The only thing that really changes between them is the brim is slightly different. And then this one is technically the Kelp bucket hat by Passionate Kelsey, but I don't like the way it turned out. And I will put it on so you can see what I mean. To me, it's too shallow on my head. Like, it needs to come down further before the brim starts. And just, the brim is just not good on this one. I just don't like the way it looks compared to some of the other ones we made. Where this one, I feel like it's more of what you would think when you think bucket hat. And you're probably wondering why I made so many, and the reason is my sister lives in Australia and I showed her I was making a bucket hat. She loved it, so I was just gonna mail some to her. I just haven't done it yet for obvious reasons. I also made her a crochet top, but I didn't grab it out, so here are my finished bucket hats. And then I finished a child size Pemba mittens. I do not remember the designer's name, but I will either put it on screen here, down here maybe, or I will put it down in the description box below. And they have this beautiful texture, and everybody's been telling me they look kind of like ice cream cones and like sherbet colors. The yarn for this is Lollipop yarn by Mainstays, which is the Walmart brand, and it's 100% acrylic. They come in a few different colorways. I don't remember the name of the colorway I chose, but super nice yarn, super soft, good price. It's about $10 Canadian for 400 some yards of yarn. And these are the child size, and I think I used somewhere between a 5 and a 6mm hook to make this. And then out of the same yarn, I knit a basic stockinette knit hat, front and back. Cute, cute. 5mm needles. I just cast on and started knitting. I didn't bother doing the brim any smaller needle size. I do not always do that. And then I made a shell, can you see that? Shell stitch crochet bun beanie. I do not remember who designed this. I think it was by Crazy for Crochet Mama. I think that's the designer of this one, but I do not remember what the actual name of the hat is. So again, I will either put it on screen or in the description box down below. And then I have more finished objects. I made a very simple granny stitch bandana, and there's a bunch of ends on here because my yarn tangled up so bad, and I basically had this giant ball of yarn barf, so I kept trying to like pull out of the yarn barf and it was just not happening. So the yarn kept breaking on me, so I have probably 6 or 8 ends on this guy to weave in. So I'll do that, and then this granny stitch bandana will be done. I also made this headband. I think it was, the pattern was by the Turtle Trunk. I don't remember what they called it, but again, it had this like crinkle stitch, and it's made out of the same Lollipop yarn, and it just turned out so cute. And it came in like 6 or 8 different sizes. I made the adult medium for this one. I will either put the name on the screen or I will have it linked down below, because there is a free YouTube video tutorial to go along with the pattern. So if you would like to make your own, you can totally do that. I then made the, oh, what's the name of this? The Bluster Stitch Bandana Cowl by Sundance Daughter, I think the designer's name is. And this is what the back looks like. And it is this beautiful broken rib stitch. And it's so simple, and it was just such a fun make. So it would kind of look like this when you were wearing it. Something along those lines. Let's try this. Like this. It's kind of like what it looks like when you wear it. The color changing yarn is it Zauberball? I don't know how to say it. It's a German branded yarn. It's worsted weight. made with 5mm needles. And I do not remember the colorway because I lost the tag for it. I purchased it from my local yarn store. I was going to make socks with it, but I didn't have enough yardage. And then this blue color is actually a cotton yarn, but it came in a Knit Crate kit back when Knit Crate did beginner knitting. Knit Crate for beginner knitters. Basically, you could sign up for like a year subscription and they teach you how to knit in a year kind of thing. I don't remember what the yarn was called. I just remember it's cotton and it's a really pretty blue color. And again, I made this with 5mm needles, and I think I finished this within a couple of days. I just sat and knit and knit and knit, and I loved it. The only thing is though, this yarn, the blue yarn, was a little hard on my hands. I find 100% cotton, no matter what kind of cotton it is just hard on the hands. So I don't know if I'm going to be using the rest of it. I'll probably send it to donation at this rate. So yeah, here's the cowl. And then last finished object, let me grab the yarn tag, is Malabrigo Mecca in the color, I don't know how to say the name. I want to call it coin, but that's not coin. Here we go. And it's a bulky weight yarn, and you get 130 yards approximately, or 119 meters per 100 grams. And I knit the bulky double strand beanie by Passionate Kelsey, but I used obviously just bulky weight yarn. And it's a beautiful 1x1 rib hat. Super simple. Just knit 1x1 rib, and then there's 3 rounds of decreases. And then I picked up a tag from the local yarn store, and it says made with love, and the little heart looks like a yarn ball. Isn't that so cute? So here's what the hat looks like. This was a simple one-day project. Absolutely loved it. Did not want to put this down. So those are my finished objects. And now let's get into things that I have started, and I do not know if I'm finishing them. It's kind of like a where I've been Frogger finish video. The first thing is this reversible tic-tac-toe snood is what it's called, but I do not remember who designed this. They recently came out with the crochet book that I wanted to get, but again, I don't remember the designer's name. I follow them on Instagram. I love all the stuff they do, but I don't remember their name. So here's the outside, and then this is what the inside of the hood looks like. Now, this is worsted weight. I was gonna make this as a gift. I'm almost done. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a few more rows of stitching to go before you just seam the hood together, basically. And I don't remember if there's ribbing. I think there might be ribbing around the front just to give it a more finished, polished look, but I don't remember. I don't remember the hook size I'm using. I'd have to look back at the pattern and hope I made notes for myself because I don't remember the hook size. It's probably between a 5 and a 6. The cream yarn is a Loops and Threads yarn. I don't remember the colorway. And the blue speckled yarn is just Red Heart Soft in a tweed colorway in some sort of a blue. I don't have the ball band anymore, so I can't even tell you the color. This one is in the maybe finished pile. It was going to be a Christmas gift, but then I ended up making so many quilts over the summer. Everybody's getting a blanket this Christmas for a gift. So is it really needed? I do not know. Am I going to finish it? I do not know. It's cool. It's made with this interlay crochet technique. And I think it's called interlay mosaic, because it is a type of mosaic crochet. It looks really cool. It's really fun to do. Very challenging at first to be able to properly get the stitches to lay so they look right. But then you just get into it and you can just go and go and go, and it's so much fun. Absolutely loved it. So that's in the maybe finished pile, maybe frog pile, unsure. Next I have this bag, which is from, let me look at the tag, Longview Creations on Etsy. In case you're interested, I purchased this last year. Her bags are really reasonably priced. And in here, oh, I haven't opened this bag in a while. I have my ortho supplies, like my rubber bands and a toothbrush in here, so that can come out. And then at the bottom of the bag, no, that's for the socks. I have a bunch of yarn, finger and weight yarn scraps. So I have this, I have this, and I have a couple of mini skeins in here that need to be wound. Things I was deciding about what I was doing with. And I have this beautiful crochet granny stitch blanket that I'm working on, and it's just slow and steady. I just kind of add to it when I feel like it, or if I have an appointment at the dentist or the ortho. I love to take this along, and I am making this with a, okay, I have a 3.75 millimeter hook in the bag, but I know for a fact I was making this with a pink 3.5 millimeter hook, except I was at my mom's house the one day and I was crocheting on the couch, and then I lost my crochet hook in the couch somewhere and I never found it. So I lost my 3.5 millimeter hook, so I sized it up to a 3.75, and I honestly don't think you can tell. I think it still looks really good. So yeah, this is my crochet granny stitch blanket. I do not remember if I'm following a pattern per se, or if I kind of just made a really long chain and decided that's going to be as long as it's going to be, because it's long enough that I can cover my lap with it, both sides, and then there's a little bit of extra on both sides of my lap, so it's fairly long. There we go. And I like the way that all the colors change in this. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. This is, all of it is actually leftover sock yarn from making socks or hats for my partner and myself. So yeah, it's just sock yarn, 75-25, 75% wash merino, 24% nylon, and that's everything that's in the bag is just leftover sock yarn. So that's that project. The next project is in a bag I sewed myself when I was beginning to learn to sew, and I followed a YouTube tutorial. If I can find it, I will link it down below. It does have a nice pocket in the front, and then inside this bag is just a wrap with a tiny bit of yarn. This is my oops, I'm all tangled. Let me do this. Okay, granny stitch crochet wrap, also made with a 3.5 millimeter hook, also made out of sock yarn scraps. Here's the very tip of it. I'm just gonna bring it across the screen so you can see all of it. So it's quite large already. However, this is the only thing in the bag, along with a tiny little sample that I was making out of a moss stitch moss stitch crochet shawl, but I did not like the way it was looking and building, so I decided I was frogging it and then just adding the yarn immediately into the shawl. Also sock weight scraps, 75-25 superwash merino nylon, and 3.5 millimeter hook. Okay, sorry, I have an itchy nose today and it feels like there's a hair or something on my nose, and it's causing me to feel very itchy and potentially sneeze, and that's what I'm doing with my nose, in case you're wondering. Okay, next project, I started this forever ago and I have not finished it because I simply ran out of yarn, and I cannot be bothered to go out right now and go buy yarn. Also because my partner and I moved from a small town to another small town. The small town is even smaller than the one I lived in, so there's not even a Walmart here. So I cannot simply just go to Walmart and buy yarn anymore. I have to actually plan when I'm going to buy yarn, unfortunately. which is also another reason why I have not bought yarn to finish this thing. Long story short, this is a scrappy 4-weight worsted acrylic yarn granny hexagon cardigan. There we go. Here's one half. Love the pinks with the gray. Here's the other half. It's all blue, so it's split right down the middle. Pink on one side, blue and green on the other. And then this is what it looks like from the back. And at the bottom we have this beautiful creamy white color, just to extend it down, or else it was going to be very cropped. And yeah, I will finish this whenever. I think I made this with a 5.5mm hook. If not, I'll just pick up my hook somewhere between a 5 and a 6. And I'll just try out all three sizes, so a 5, a 6, and a 5.5, and see which one matches the stitches, basically. And I've ran out of worsted weight acrylic scraps that I would like to add into this, and I'm not about to go buy yarn anytime soon. So this will just sit and wait until I have yarn to add into it. And then when I'm done, I will probably be selling this because I don't think I want it. I did start in an Etsy shop selling off things I do not want, like this hat. It will be added to the Etsy shop. This cowl I will add to the shop. Headbands in the shop. So are the hats and the mittens. Simply because I like to make things, but I don't necessarily need all the things I make in my journey anymore, because I have a few staples that I really love. My partner has some staples he really loves, and I can't keep everything. That's just the reality. I can't keep everything I make. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. See if anybody buys anything out of the shop. That'd be really cool if they did, or if you know anybody looking. The link's in my YouTube, what do you call it, bio? I'd say bio. Go to my YouTube channel, and then there's a link there for my Etsy shop in case you see something that you wanted to buy because you don't want to make it yourself. I know I sometimes do that, where there's something somebody requests but I don't want to make it myself. I will tell them to go to somebody else's shop just to go buy it outright, so I don't have to make it. And then another thing I started was this acrylic yarn, let's go the other side, blanket. This is I think it's a 12-point star baby blanket. Obviously you can make it as big as you want. Is it cute? Yes. Am I gonna keep it? Maybe. It's in the maybe finish pile. The other thing I could do is just give it to my mom because it's a good size. She can just put it on the little mini cat couch. My mom has a bunch of cats, so she has like a little tiny cat couch. It's so cute for the cats. And this would be the perfect size to just weave in the ends and give to my mom, and she can put it on the cat couch and the cats can enjoy it, because I've made other blankets similar to this, like in the same style and size and that, and the cats love it, so they get their own blankets. So I think I might do that because I don't feel like frogging it, and I do not feel like putting it in the thrift store pile. I kind of feel bad when I do that. So I think I'll finish weaving in the ends and finish this off and just give it to my mom because I think that'd be perfect for her. So that's what I'm going to do with that one. What do I want to talk about next? Let's go for this guy. This one is a sweater, and I do know who it's by. I do know the size I'm making and the needles, and I knew the name of it. So this is my Kintra. Kintra is a pattern by the Creabea, Rebecca Clow, I'm unsure. Features this beautiful 1x1 ribbed neckline, and then you go straight into this beautiful 1x1 color work. So I have finished all the color work for the sweater, and I am working on the short row shaping. And I've never done short rows like this, so it goes from the back, like across the sleeves to the front and like around, so they're very long short rows, and each individual size in the pattern has their own short row shaping, which is really cool. And the yarn I'm using for this is, I hope I have the tag in here, and I do not. Okay, well, all the minis, I'll just hold them up if I can. Here's what I have left of my mini skeins. This was a mini skein set by Lichen and Lace. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it has a floral name, so like floral bouquet or flower fields or something along those lines, and I picked it up from my local yarn store. And then this beautiful taupe color is Knitting for Olive, and I don't know if it's called taupe or what the actual color name is. I don't have the ball band for that one either. I apparently lost it. I have more of this, but I'm not getting up to go check the color name. So Knitting for Olive merino, fingering weight sweater, absolutely stunning. I have little cactus, you can see that, cactus needle stoppers. They're from Cara & Co, woman-owned business based out in Canada. Super cheap. And then this is knit on 3.5mm needles, and obviously my circular is too short, but once the short rows are done, I am separating for the sleeves, so I am not about to be changing it to a bigger cable. It'll be what it will be. And I started this one sometime last year, and then I got kind of tired of knitting the color work. It's one of those where I love it and I want it so bad, but I'm not super enjoying the process right now. So I'm getting back into it slowly. I finished the color work a few days ago. That was really great. Started the short rows, knit to what, I have 12 or so far, and then there's a little bit of raglan shaping that happens at the same time to finish off the sweater, because it's a top down round yoke, but then there's also some raglan shaping that happens at the very end of the yoke to give it a better shape, because if not, the arms and shoulders and that are just fitting and bunching funny. So Rebecca added some raglan shaping at the very end of the yoke to make it a better fit, which is pretty cool. Never done a pattern like that before. Very cool to see how it's going to fit and what's going to happen with it. So that's that. The next one is also by Rebecca. I'll be honest, I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the pattern. I will have it linked down below or on screen. The yarn I'm using is not Knit Picks. What am I going on about? Okay, let's try this again. The yarn for this cardigan project is Malabrigo Arios, and the color is Seahorse. And I'm also using Juniper Moonforms Patagonia Organic Merino, which is 100% wool. And what color is this? Ivory. Okay, there we go. The color Seahorse and Ivory. Here is the cardigan. It's looking a little short sometimes. It's just me. I need to try this on. So here's the cardigan. It needs a button band, a really good blocking, and the sleeves. I'm working on sleeve 1, but I wasn't really enjoying it. I tried knitting at Magic Loop, didn't like it. Switched to some fancy flexi flips I bought. These are the ergonomic ones. Very cool looking. Love it. So this is the cardigan. I do not remember. Oh, I do remember. This is called the Daft Days cardigan, if I remember correctly, because there's a Daft Days shawl that is the exact same. And this is knit on, can I read that? 4mm needles for the sleeves and the main body. And if I remember correctly, you start at the back, cast on, work all the way down, then you cast on your fronts. No, you start bottom up. It's bottom up for this one. My bad. Okay, you start bottom up, you do the ribbing, then you move on to the color work, you go all through the body, you split front and back, and then you make the front and back separate, and then you seam them together. Because this is how I have mine seamed at the shoulders. I don't know if you can see that. This is the seam line right there. So it looks pretty seamless. I'm pretty proud of myself for this one. This is my first ever knitted cardigan, and I will finish it one day. This is one that I really wanted. Still want oil finish I'm thinking about potentially ordering some small short circular needles so I can knit in the round without stopping, because I don't mind knitting on flexi flips, but for the sleeves I'm not enjoying it as much as I enjoy knitting socks on flexi flips. So I'm thinking if I order short circulars like 9 or 12 inches, those would be perfect for knitting the sleeves, and then I can just crank those out and get off Sleep Island, and then I can do the ribbing for around the front collar and the front of the cardigan, and it'll be done. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan. I think we're gonna do that. Okay, I have one more project. I do not have a pattern for this one. I don't remember if I started with a pattern or not. If not, it's very simple to just Google a pattern for this. This is a crochet, it's what you call it, a granny stripe blanket, but it's not granny stripe. I don't know where that even came from. Let's try this again. Okay, this is a crocheted chevron blanket. There we go. Made with a 6mm hook, worsted weight yarn. It's Bernat Premium. I'll tell you the colors in a minute. I'll show you first. So this is end number 1. And end number 2. And I'm just going to be striping this. So it's going to go dark gray, red, black, dark gray, red, black, all the way up. And it's about a king size blanket. Can I? No, I can't even fit the whole thing on the screen. It's so big. Okay, so the black one is just called black. The red one is called red, how original. And the gray one, please have a different name, it's called dark gray heather. And this is just Bernat Premium, 100% acrylic, number 4 worsted weight yarn, and I purchased mine at Walmart. Really great value, really soft acrylic. It is one of my favorite acrylics to work with. I think it's a lot better than Red Heart, completely. Like, total, like, couple of steps up from Red Heart, completely. Okay, so my video stopped recording for a second, but that's okay. I lied. I have one more whip. And this also plays into the acquisitions. Oops. I'm getting all tangled. I'm tangled. Oh no. I do. Okay, give me 1 second while I untangle the yarn from the needles. Okay. The new to me needles are ChiaoGoo 8mm 60-inch circular needles, and then the yarn I'm using is also Malabrigo Mecca Pace Sandu, I think is the color name. I'll show you, and then I'll show you the ball of yarn. It's these dark blues. Sorry, there's light coming in from this window, and I have no blinds in this new house. I don't know why, but when we toured the house, the only place that had blinds or curtains of any kind was the bedroom upstairs. And there's 2 windows out there, right? So both of them had curtains, and then everything on the main floor had no curtains. And I have not gotten around to getting curtains yet because we've been so busy. So you're gonna have to deal with this lighting just coming in. So here's my ball of yarn. It's purples and blues and just so pretty. Here's what it looks like. So pretty, dark, moody, jewel tones. Love it. And again, I'm making a bulky 1x1 ribbed beanie by Passionate Kelsey. Super simple, love it. Yarn and needles purchased from my local yarn store. And then I have 4 more skeins of yarn purchased from my local yarn store, plus some tags. So I have 2 more skeins of Mecca. Here's the Va colorway. Super dark green and dark blue. This is pretty accurate. It's a little bit more colorful in person because there's different tones to it. It's really, really dark blue and dark green. You just can't tell. on the camera. Another Malabrigo Mecca is Candom. This one's dark purple with blues, and there's some greens in there. Again, you can't really tell on the camera, it's not showing up proper. This is a lot more accurate. And then I ordered a skein of Malabrigo Ario in the color Zinnias. This stunning pinks, reddish color with the oranges in there. Love it. And I am planning on potentially knitting some DK weight socks. I don't know if they're going to be a Christmas present or not. I don't know if I'm going to end up making them before 2025 ends or if I will start them in the new year. I'm kind of leaning more towards starting them in the new year. I feel like it makes more sense, but we'll see. And then the last skein of yarn I picked up, Hedgehog Fibers. Oh no. Okay. This is Skinny Singles 100% merino wool in the color Heron. When I originally ordered yarn from the local yarn store, I had to order online, and I did not order Skinny Singles. I ordered their sock yarn, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, or it's 80% superwash, 20 nylon. Anyways, the yarn's really pretty, but I did not realize there's no nylon in it. I chose a different colorway originally. They did not have it. They only had 3 other colorways to choose from. So I let my partner pick which one he wanted. So he chose this one, but he did not know it was going to be Skinny Singles. I thought it was going to be their sock yarn. So I'm a little bit disappointed. So this may end up being a hat. I think this is going to be a really pretty muscle burl. It could also be 2 of the, what do you call it? Classic Rope Tap by Pearl Soho. Love those. My partner loves them. I'm picking out dog hair. So we'll see. I could make this into socks. I'm just sad there's no nylon in it, because nylon makes it a little bit more durable, but we'll see. I also forgot to mention, if you made it to the end, it's December 3rd today, 2025. I am planning on uploading the video same day, so I'll be sitting and editing most of the afternoon, and then getting this video uploaded to my channel because it's been way too long, and I plan on putting out videos more often now, especially since we moved. I don't know. I've been doing a lot more sewing, and I've gotten into cross stitch as well. I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing though. Like, would you want to see my finished quilts or what I'm sewing? I don't know, because sometimes I sew clothing too. I'm also planning on sewing bags, kind of like this one, for the Etsy shop and selling them online. This one's made out of 100% quilting cotton and 100% cotton thread, and what I did was I followed a pattern for the bag, but instead of using one solid piece of fabric for the front, I used a bunch of different fabrics, as you can see, from a quilt I made that all matched. And then this was the backing of the quilt, and then this fabric is the binding for the quilt. So everything from the quilt I just used the fabric for, and I think it turned out so stinking cute. I'm also planning on making bags with snaps on them, but kind of in like this quilty style, not necessarily like this one. It might be more like this one. It could be like this one. I've undecided. I'm planning on doing some different styles, but if that's something you're interested in, let me know. If you're interested in seeing what I cross stitch, let me know. I will say a lot of what I cross stitch is adult humor only, and I say adult humor only because it's meant for adults, not for children and prying eyes, because some of it is just not age appropriate, but I think it's funny. You could say sometimes it's like sexual related content, not in a bad way, just plays on words. Let's put it that way. It's a lot of what I stitch is like play on words. I am getting into full coverage cross stitch, and in the new year I will be starting a Heaven and Earth Designs stitch along. If you know what that is, I'm doing the glistening wings, the dragonfly piece. So yeah, let me know what you want to see from me. If there's any tutorials you wanted to see or anything that I promised I haven't put out yet, please remind me. I probably forgot about it. It's been a long year. I'm super excited for Christmas this year and then a year to come, and just knowing the year's ending and 2026 is a new start, new year. So many exciting things to happen. So let me know what you want to see. Thank you so much for watching and staying to the end, and I will catch you on the next crafty episode.